year, 21 people died as a direct result of gun crime in the country. What is it really like if you or a member of your family is a victim of this violence?
Garda crime scene examiners have spent much of the day at the scene of this morning's shooting, which has left a 27-year-old father of two in a critical condition tonight. The victim's two young children and his girlfriend were in the apartment at the time. Gardaí are still trying to establish a motive for the shooting. The victim is described by his family as a law-abiding citizen in full employment, a good family man.
That was a recent report on Rodert Delanys and the attack that it was on him. In studio we have his partner Mags and his father Terry. We appreciate you both coming in to us. We know this must be very, very difficult. How is Robert now?
At the moment he's in a vegetative state. He's still in Tala Hospital. He doesn't respond to myself or his family. He will open his eyes and move his head, move his fingers now and again. The doctors say that Robert is 99% brain damaged. He has the minimum amount of awareness. He also he hasn't done anything from the start. He hasn't responded to anything that we've asked of him. There just doesn't seem to be anything from him at all. He has 16 pellets lodged in his brain. There was 20, and when they operated on him in Beaumont Hospital, they removed 4 pellets. They say that no surgery can be done on Robert because that he wouldn't do him any good. It'd be going in, taking out pellets, which could do more damage for Robert. They also say we're waiting on a bed in a nursing home where he needs 24/7 care around the clock. We can't take him home to look after him because of all the care that he needs. He constantly needs somebody there every few hours checking on him during the night and during the day. And in the mornings now, when I bring my children to school, I will go up to Robert in hospital. I'll sit there with him for 4 or 5 hours. I help the nurses out. I shave Robert, I wash him, I cut his hair, I do an awful lot of things for him that I know to try and keep him looking good the way he always wanted to be. He always was a proud person. He always liked to look good and smell good and wear nice clothes. And then I come home, I collect the kids, and his mum will go up then in the afternoon.
It's 2 girls you have, isn't it?
I have.
Katie and Megan.
I have Katie and Megan, yeah. They're gas.
How old are they?
Megan will be 8 now in December. She's making her communion now in May. So
and Katie is only 2?
Katie's 2, yeah. She's only 2 and never got to know her daddy.
Terry, before this happened, it happened last October, the 22nd of last October, the shooting occurred. What kind of lad was Robert?
Well, he was a fun-loving young lad. He worked as a postman in Tala, and he just loved life.
I can only begin to imagine how difficult this is to talk about him.
He loved life. He was a marvellous son, and outgoing character, mad Man United fan, but just a lovely lad.
What happened? I mean, the day of the shooting, it was, as I said, the 22nd of October.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
Well, we were in bed asleep, and Robert was due to go up to work in the post office. He would normally leave about between 5 and 5:30 to go to work. This particular morning, this week, Robert was working late, so he wasn't in early. As I said, we were in bed, and the buzzer went. So with that, the buzzer had woken up the baby, woke up Katie. So Robert got up and I got up. I went into Katie, and Robert picked up the intercom in the hallway. As I was walking past, I just heard his name being called. So he went out to the kitchen, and I went into the bedroom to take Katie. He looked out the window, and then I just heard 2 bangs. I had the baby in my arms, so I went and I just kind of looked, I glanced out to see him, and I seen that he was kind of falling, so I put Katie in, and I put her into the room with Megan, and I shut the door, but I grabbed my phone and I rang 999, and I actually caught Robert before he actually even hit the floor. But as I had Robert in my arms, I had the emergency services on the phone. They had, then the two girls actually came into the kitchen and they were standing there. I remember screaming at them to leave, to get out of the kitchen, to go in and shut the door. And
did they see what happened?
They seen, Megan would tell me she seen me and Robert covered in blood. She still to this day thinks that something had happened to her mammy as well. She also said she just hates now because I told her to go back in the room and I was screaming, and she keeps telling me that she remembers me screaming, Bob, don't close your eyes, Bob, please don't go, stay with me, don't leave me, keep your eyes, just keep looking at me. I just kept screaming and screaming and screaming. I hung up from the emergency services, and my sister at the time was living just beside me, so I had rang her then, and I had asked her to come up and take the kids out of the house. I didn't want the kids to see what was after happening. And then there was a couple of neighbours downstairs and they were shouting for me to throw the key out to them so they could let themselves in to help us. When they came up, one of the lads was on the phone to the ambulance men and they were saying to put pressure on the wound, make sure I put plenty of pressure. But with Robert's condition, he was hit with pellets, so there was actually no wound in particular. There was blood. Sorry, there was blood coming from Robert's nose, his ears, his mouth, his eyes, his head. It was just amazing.
Yeah, and do you know what?
Yeah.
I know it's very difficult for you to talk about this and for you to even relive the memories, so I really appreciate you going through it, okay? You are trying to help other people who have been affected by gun violence as well, because this is a huge problem in the country and it is something that is affecting more people than we realise.
Yeah.
You've actually set up a website.
In the aftermath of the attack, we set up the Justice for Rodert Delanys campaign, and what we've now done is we've launched a website, and it's a manifestation of that campaign. We're determined that Robert's case will be kept highlighted. We're determined to send a message to people responsible that we won't stop in our quest for justice for him. And the website itself, it's www.innocentvictimsofviolence.ie, and it's an opportunity for other people whose families have been victims of violence also to put their stories up. Could I just say, take the opportunity of thanking lots of people who have been amazingly helpful to us in all of this. It's just unbelievable. We have people like Garda John Wilson up in Monaghan, who's arranged a match between a Paul McGrath selection and Shelbourne Football Club on the 21st November. That's going to happen. The purpose of that is to set up a fund for Mags and the children. They're going to purchase a house so they won't have to go back to the apartment. Robert's friends and colleagues have been marvellous, and of course our own family, particularly my wife. Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Terry, thank you so much, and Mags, we really do appreciate you coming in today to talk to us. I can only imagine how difficult it's been. And at the website, of course, all the details will be on our own, so the innocentvictimsofviolence.ie, all that information is on our own website, rt.ie/tv/The Afternoon Show. Thank you. Shayna.
Okay, incredible there. You hear those stories on the news and I suppose you get desensitised to them, so that's the reality behind the scenes. So it's very difficult for them to do that, but we thank them for doing it. Okay, now we're moving on.